Good evening and welcome to Exploding Cinema, the cinema that explodes with happiness and raw art. Collected for you under the cover of COVID-19 by our little Oompa Loompas that have been going around the world searching out all of the wonderful films that should be shown. We've got 9 films for you this evening. It's a mixed bag. We've got some drama, we've got some documentary, we've got some art pieces, we've got some comedy. And there's one abstract piece. The last show was very abstract. It was almost entirely all abstract, and this one, just the one. So, for any of you that don't know, we are Exploding Cinema. We are nearly 30 years old now. We've been putting on shows with no funding, no taste, and no stars. The whole point of Exploding Cinema is that anybody that sends us in a film that's under 20 minutes long, we will show it. There's no curation. Everybody says it's impossible. Somehow 29 years later, we're still bloody doing it. So, my name is Adam, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that already, and if I have, then I apologize. Also in the room, who's a fellow exploder, is Ben, who I'm just going to spotlight now. And he's
Hi everyone. Very excited to be here. I'm doing tech tonight. Anything technical goes wrong whatsoever with the internet, I'm a bad little boy.
There we go. And we also have Duncan Reiki in the room, one of the original exploders. He was there 29 years ago, and he's
That's
still
true.
there. We can't shake him off.
Yeah, I'm like a tick.
He's exactly like a tick.
Parasite.
So, also in the room is David Vey, who's showing a film tonight, but he's also letting people in. He's on the door. Just give us a wave, David.
Hello.
We've got sound too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just doing some door duty. I'm trying to get somebody who can't, apparently don't have any email registered. But I see that's simply done by just launching Zoom with Facebook or Google. If that
Okay, good luck with that one then, David. And also Semi in the room is someone who is listed as Exploding Cinema. And that is Matt, actually. And Matt, if I can spotlight him, I can't seem to spotlight him for some reason. Why can't I spotlight him? Anyway, Matt is doing a live show for us. He's projecting in his garden, so that's why he's not in front of us right now. And there are various other exploders. Oh, Joe is in the room, isn't he? Joe Robinson. Oh, I can't see his face, so there's no point in sticking his picture up. So let's go back to me. There we go. So Yolande can't get in, doesn't have a registered email address. That's weird. We had Yolande in the last show. We did, didn't we, Daniel?
Oh, she's in now.
She's in, okay, there we go. All right, so I think we should show a film because that, after all, is what it's all about with Exploding Cinema. We've got 2 filmmakers in the room for this show. We've got Labkhand and Mariam, if you want to just give a wave right now. And we'll have a chat with you after the film. The film is called Playtime, Baby Maybe. That was Baby Maybe. Now we do have Labkhand.
Yeah.
I can't spotlight her. There we go. That is a screaming baby. And we also have Mariam in the room. Mariam is the performer. Labkhand. There we go, Mariam. Hey. So, a question to you both. This is part of a series of films. So what is the series? Can you explain what it's about?
Yeah, so so this I mean I started 2008 about this Baby Maybe series. Is it's kind of like complex relationship of like a bearing a woman in a certain age and childbearing age, and with the current situation of like modern life, basically the complex relationship for the being a mother in this modern life, and I think when I start that, it was part of the journey. I was kind of like exploring my own question. There's a lot of quest about this situation for the women in terms of like, let's say, how the influence of societal influence or family or all these things pushes women towards like this kind of like a narration of in terms of like being a mother, and how much of that is just based on what is forced, to go towards that direction, or it just like how we brought up and our basically in terms of politics or all the aspects just change this direction for the women and their decision. And so this is kind of like exploring, and part of that exploration, I think, is I was kind of like try to put myself out there and kind of mix this situation with some kind of like a sense of humor, and also, just kind of interacting with people.
Definitely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love the interactions with the people walking down the street.
So totally. I mean,
It's
like
really great the way you get the weird looks from them.
yeah, totally. And
you include that in the finished piece.
Yeah, so this interaction actually was just like every time bring something new, different layer, you know, and adding more question and layer to the whole process, and also try, you know, drive me to go more deep into and different society, different country. And at that time I was traveling actually to London. I was I had
It looks like London. It is
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I was part of, I had a show in Photo London actually, and that was also at that time like it was 4 months before the day me and Mariam, which is, I know Mariam back in Iran, during college time, so I know her. So we both working in art. So she was a painter. I was going to the school graphic, and we know each other since then. And that was great to see her and knowing her and how great she is, and a spontaneous aspect of like how I felt, and we both bonded, and I shared my experience, and it was all like a very in a short period of time we decide to do some very spontaneous performance and work, you know, right in the street. So that was like my intention is that, and this project is still going. I have, if you see, there's a sign back here. So one of my other show actually, installation performance. And if anybody wants to know more about what this project done and where is it going, there's more film I'm working on, and there's a film I'm showing. So that babymaybe.co, so you can check out the website and get more information. If you have question, I would love and
put that into our chat here, and then people can go to your site. That would be excellent.
And I'm going to baby say to you also.
When's the next one going to be made?
Actually, next, I mean, I have actually my second film definitely is showing actually in London in also in October. So which I inform you. So that one is already out. Last year I finished it. And there is another one I'm working, is more documentary. So I'm interviewing a lot of women. So it's experimental documentary style. I'm working on it right now. But there is another experimental is already finished last year and July. So I will definitely.
Send them in to us.
Mm-hmm.
Send them in.
Yes, I will.
Do you have any questions for Labkhand or Mariam? Any questions? Is there anything coming through on?
Anyway, there's Marianne. Marianne. Where is Marianne, and how does she, in which context did she get involved with the film?
Okay, there's Marianne.
This was completely a spontaneous encounter, and the main aim was to catch up with Labkhand, as I hadn't seen her for a very long time.
And work right there.
Sorry?
Okay, that's a very good reason to work. Okay, right there.
Yes, and then, but I'd seen her work, and I always liked her work, and so when she kind of proposed, let's try something, and I was immediately like, yes, and especially playing with the babies that she's got. They're great dolls. They're so realistic, and the whole issue with the motherhood, and I've got my own personal issues with motherhood, and of course I don't have any child, and getting I'm meeting the deadline, so I'm losing the time to have children. So it's like a really interesting question and interesting issue for me. So it spoke to me very deeply, and of course I just need an excuse to fool around and just, you know, any permission to be stupid.
Like you were having a lot of fun with it.
I had a lot of fun. And I'm so pleased that she's captured some of the reaction of that lady. It's brilliant. I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. It was wonderful, and I just love the spontaneous actions always. So it was amazing. Such a beautiful experience. And thank you, Labkhand. I'm so glad that you kind of involved me in your
Labkhand is all the way over in LA. Okay?
Yeah.
This is one of the nice things about doing the online shows, is that we can involve the entire world.
Absolutely.
We always involve the world in our shows. It's just normally we show the films and the filmmakers can't be there. But with the online shows, we can have the filmmakers in the room, which is lovely.
It's so wonderful to be part of your show. I love Exploding Cinema. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been lovely to have you.
Wonderful to be part of it.
I think we'll probably need to move on
Me too.
because we have a lot of other films to show. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next film is called Self-Portrait, Détournement, and it's by Gwendolyn Audrey Foster, and she is all the way over in Nebraska, in the United States. And I haven't seen her in the room yet, but she's very shy anyway, so let's show the film. Okay, so that was Self-Portrait, Détournement by Gwen Audrey Foster. Is she in the room? Can anyone help me find her? I don't think she is. Who knows what's happening in the great farmland, Nebraska right now. But I love this piece. I think it's really, really lovely. And I think we know this filmmaker because she sent us work before, and she never wants to appear on the screen. And this film kind of explains why, right? Because the self-portrait is her kind of disappearing into the distance. We don't see her face. She's a shy girl. There we go. And that's the Détournement right there. Any questions that we could send all the way to Nebraska? Has anyone got any questions? You can stick them in the chat.
Adam, I unfortunately I was going to ask, is she from Lincoln, Nebraska?
That I wouldn't know.
Well, I just heard an interesting fact about Lincoln, Nebraska, that apparently it's the most cycle-friendly town in America, like town of a certain size. Like they've got a very good non-car infrastructure.
Sounds good. The last email that I had with Gwen, she was complaining about the fact that lockdown was not as in effect as it should be in Nebraska. They've got COVID real bad there. That's what she was telling me. Nothing about bicycles, but there we go. Okay, so George Gower says, outstanding stuff. I love the part where the woman changed from color to black and white. It was very eerie and mysterious. Absolutely, George. I'm with you on that one. But as she's not in the room, let's move on to the next film, which is, this is a good one. Oh, what is it then?
Just that 100 Magic Alex said, lovely film, Gwen.
Well done, Magic Alex.
It's worth reading that one out.
Absolutely. So the next film, it's a goodie. It's by Dom Hicks, who I'm hoping is in the room. He was trying to join us really early.
I'm here.
Hey, well done, Dom. Good stuff. The film is called Amazonia. Do you want to introduce it, or do you want to speak after? Your choice.
I'll speak afterwards, I suppose.
Good call.
Yeah.
Amazonia, folks. Over to you, Ben.
Ask any chef. There's nothing more important than a good, sharp knife. But with so many different brands and no way to try before you buy, choosing the right set isn't easy. I took a chance on these after reading the reviews, and I'm glad. These knives aren't cheap, but they really do scream quality. There are 5 knives included: a chef's knife, a utility knife, a carving knife, a paring knife, and a cleaver. As I mentioned, I'm a professional chef working in one of the world's top restaurants. Whether I'm preparing a 7-course taster menu or just rustling up Sunday brunch for the wife and kids, I need to know my cutlery and appliances intimately. Working with unreliable tools is just sloppy. A good knife should feel like an extension of your own body. This product is a must-have for any serious cook who knows his craft and really cares about his food. What I love most is their agility. They have a lively action which is well suited to decisive cutting. The balance is flawless, and the construction is robust enough for even the most demanding of kitchens. They give you a feeling of complete control. But most importantly, these knives are sharp. They glide through large onions. Filleting and boning chicken thighs is effortless. I even dropped a tomato onto one from a height and watched as it fell cleanly in two. Really impressive. One small note, not a deal breaker, really just something worth mentioning. While the handle is comfortable and feels very natural,
what the fuck are you looking at?
Keep in mind that it can get a bit slippery when cutting steak or dealing with certain types of fish.
Everyone deserves to be special. When my husband and I found out we had a baby on the way, we knew we needed to find a name that was truly unique. Of course, name dictionaries were the obvious place to start. But names are more than just words. That's what makes this book such a great buy. It's more than just a dictionary. It takes its information from a range of sources. Popularity data from countries and cities. Graduate listings from the world's top universities. The cast of your favourite TV show. It's a completely fresh approach to mapping out hot name trends. Theme sections at the back of the book like Catholic saints, screen icons and Greek myths not only generate new ideas but really help the conversation along, turning a daunting process into something manageable and fun. Of course you have your timeless classics, Elizabeth, Sarah, George. But for the more adventurous parents amongst us, there are funky options like Pandora or Atticus. So the question is, did it work? I'm happy to report the answer is a resounding yes. After bringing the book to the south of France on a well-deserved break, it wasn't long before the perfect name found us. Yes, it's a huge decision, but the author breaks it down to one simple question. If you had the chance to start life completely from scratch, to be new again, what name would you choose to represent you? To show people how special you really are? This book contains the answer. It can also be used for naming pets.
I've always been a happy person.
It's going to be much smaller this time round.
I have a good job, a beautiful home, a loving family.
Helena, what did I tell you?
We have everything we want.
It's been 3 days since a baby was stolen from a shopping
Of course, I
centre
have my
in
bad
England.
days. I work long hours. My north-facing office doesn't get much sunlight. A colleague suggested I try one of those sad lamps. The colour of the light is supposed to help with low moods. I was sceptical at first. Not that I don't believe in depression. It's just not something that affects me personally. But for this sort of price, I thought, why not? And I must admit, they really do make a difference, both at work and at home. I've noticed my thinking getting sharper, more defined, almost like a fog lifting. Some of the more negative reviews here mention a buzzing sound. It's not completely silent, but the noise fades into the background eventually, especially when you stop listening for it. My only criticism is that this product does give off an unusual amount of heat. Our dog seems to enjoy it. I just wonder how safe it would be to leave on overnight, especially around soft furnishings.
Great stuff there, Tom. Wonderful stuff.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. Tom, you got some really, really good performances there, especially from the dog.
Yes, the dog. It's not easy with the dogs. I had to schedule a few hours to get the dog to do the right things. But, a friend of mine had a pug, so I was lucky there.
Yeah, well, I think he worked out really well for you. But the other performances are very good too. I'm guessing that they're professional.
Yeah, they're mainly stand-up comedians, actually. I thought because the material's quite bleak, that it might be interesting to cast people who are generally known for being funny and sort of have them play straight dramatic roles. Stand-up comics have lower expectations for being looked after and paid and fed as well. So that worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, those reviews. Okay, was there really a review that began, I'm a happy person, really?
No, I added that one in. Flags to the mast.
A bit of artistic license.
I slightly, yeah, I mean, most of it is copy and pasted from different reviews. So the knife one is entirely, it's made up of 3 different reviews I found. So I went through kind of a few months of obsessing over Amazon reviews, not sure which product I was going to do. I had the idea, and then I kind of compiled the most tragic and strange phrases from real reviews. But yeah, some of them I had to, just to make the story work, I had to add some bits in, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely piece. And I think it's really nice the way that you managed to get the 3 separate stories kind of working together and cohesive.
Thanks. It was ages ago that I made it, actually, but I suppose that's the nature of it. When you haven't really done anything for a long time, you just keep sending it off to film festivals to get a little bit of delayed gratification. So I feel a bit bad even talking about it now, because I did it a couple of years, 3 years ago, and I haven't done bollocks since then, really. But you know, it's nice to have it shown with you guys, and I quite like this setup, this virtual setup, because you can smoke a fag and sit in your living room with your mucker, and it's very well. And there's no, you don't have to get anywhere or anything. It's all right, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We've got a message here that says, great call, giving a dark script to comedians. I love the pregnant.
Pregnant woman. Yeah, that's Rachel Stubbings, who has her own film festival, actually, down in Bermondsey every so often. Yeah, no, they were brilliant. And I mean, there was a bit of life imitating art when it came to her thing, because she, I don't know whether she'll like me talking about this now, but she had a breakup while we were filming it because she wanted a baby with the boyfriend that she had and he didn't. So she turned up to the shoot saying, well, this is actually quite agonizing subject matter for me today. But it, you know, she cried on command as a result. So I was happy, and I think she's fine now, so.
Okay, good news in the end.
Yeah.
Amazon managed to deliver.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, do we have any questions in the room?
I've got a question. Did Dominic ever feel tempted to buy on Amazon a box canvas print of Paul Ross?
Paul, what do you mean, Bob Ross?
No, Paul Ross, the brother of Jonathan Ross. Are you familiar with the comments?
I remember him. I don't know.
The comments on, someone was selling a box canvas print picture of Paul Ross, and the comments became like a viral thing. They were bloody hilarious.
Oh, really? I've seen some about gummy bears and things like that, I think. I'm surprised I've not heard of the Paul Ross business before.
I'll put the link on the chat.
Put the link there, yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to see that. I tried to find people who were being quite sincere, really, in the reviews. I don't know whether they were being, but yeah.
Okay.
I suppose it's kind of one of everybody, Do you see, you know, when people ask questions about things and they like about products, and underneath people just write, "I have no idea, I'm sorry," and stuff. People seem to, I don't know why they write that, but they still write, "I have no idea how to answer your question." And it's
Yeah,
like,
I have no opinion on this.
I have no opinion. Yeah. So it's sort of, Amazon reviews seem to be a forum for public conversation in a weird way. And a lot of people who don't write anything in their lives will write a review that's quite long-winded and give away aspects of their personal lives in the review. I thought that was all quite interesting. Of course, it's only just gotten more that way, I guess, with social media and everything. So, yeah.
You get more information out of the Q&As on products than from the manufacturer.
Yeah. And you get more information, but you get some tacit information on the people who actually bought it as well, which is what you didn't expect sometimes. Like, you can kind of just about figure out that their marriage is failing from a toaster review, you know?
Ooh, that's an algorithm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, Marianne says, great film indeed. And Danielle says, great. Do some more.
Thanks, I'll try. I'm very lazy, but I'll try.
And Labby says, very interesting. And absolutely, it was very strong work. I like the way that it underscores the kind of social aspects. If you've ever worked in the shop, you'll know that people just want to speak to you. You know, okay, people want to tell you things about their lives as they buy things. You know, it's kind of in there.
People open up even more now that the quarantine is in place. People will talk about their personal lives after about 3 seconds of small talk, won't they, in the street, because everyone's starved of it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Good stuff. So do keep on making films and send them in to us.
Thanks, guys.
Glad that you could be with us. So if there's no more questions, if anyone wants to say anything.
I've put the Paul Ross Amazon link in the Zoom chat.
We do have another question from George. I'm going to unmute George.
Yeah, I thought the film was really good. I thought it was really good of how the way the film kind of linked together was really effective. Because initially I was thinking that they'd be separate shorts, but they all kind of had a kind of narrative that kind of flowed together as such. Personally, I thought that the first one was the most effective because of how kind of eerie and how mysterious it was, and you kind of realised that the person in the car was a kind of killer as the film went on. And I was just wondering which film was your favourite to which of the 3 films was your favourite to shoot?
Well, the first one was a bit of a nightmare to shoot because we had to strap that camera onto the front of the car, and I did this with a crew of about 5 people without any real proper producer or anything like that. And it turned out that we'd broken a significant traffic law by doing that. And so Richard Gadd, who played the lead in the first film, got so many points in his license that he almost was forbidden to drive again. And I still, I think, owe him £200 a year extra on his insurance, but I probably won't ever pay that.
Right.
But yeah, so that was a tricky one. The last one, by the time that we did the last one, which was actually like a year later, because I had decided to give myself a bit of a break to prepare for the third part, which turned out to be 12 months of doing nothing.
Yeah.
It was fine because I had loads of time to prepare for that one. So that was really easy to do. And that was all in one location, more or less. So that was quite straightforward to do. The most enjoyable part, I think, was recording the voiceovers after the fact, because that's where the performance really comes through in a lot of ways. So,
right.
And that's just in a recording booth. So that was quite fun. It was a bit like doing radio or something.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's really interesting. Thank you.
Wonderful opening line too, gotta say.
Oh,
We've got a couple of questions from YouTube, by the way.
Oh yeah, go for it, Joe.
So there's one from Manoflow Moral Fiber. What is Dom working on at the moment, even if it's just an idea at this stage?
I'm trying to write a detective thing, actually. Like a sort of bit of a long goodbye throwback thing. It'd be very different, and trying to write something long form, but it's taking me quite some time to do it, but that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, a sort of playful detective thing set in a kind of, in this post-truth world that we find ourselves in, sort of that sort of thing. Yeah. Updated Big Lebowski, long goodbye type of story.
Okay, well, best of luck with that.
Thanks, mate.
And from Pete Combs, we've got what's in the Amazon package being delivered on the loop in the background?
Oh, that's okay. That's me. Yeah. I have no idea. That's a neighbour opposite. I just wanted to have a visual to go with the interview, and so I looked out the window with my camera, and I didn't have to wait very long for an Amazon delivery to come.
It's a very good background. I'm glad that you've garnered almost as much attention as the short did with your virtual background on the Zoom call.
Well, we do try our best.
Yeah, you've done really well. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping that it's a set of good knives. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
So moving on. Next up is a film by.
Sorry, that's rather decadent of me.
Okay, next up is Why and I Go Outside, and both the filmmakers are in the room. It's Yolanda Bremer and Daniele Imara.
Is jumping up and down and landing on the same spot movement?
Let's try it. Let's just do it.
The light hit our faces
as we went outside. I used to think I could fly, dream of
Gravity
flying.
asserts itself over and over.
But the falling isn't the point. It's that moment.
It's that moment when you float.
Bye.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, Yolanda and Daniele. Now this is kind of a sequel to a film that you already sent to us, right back at the start of the COVID lockdown. Can I ask you to unmute there?
Yeah, that's right.
I might be mistaken, but it seems like you did a lot more with the sound in this piece than you did in the original one. It's much more playful with sound, this one. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, last time we just used some edits from a transatlantic phone conversation as a soundtrack. But yes, we did play with the sound a lot more in this one.
I think it's really effective, what you've done with the sound. It's really nice. It really pulls it together.
Thank you.
And like a lovely end shot, or two shots, become one. Very nice. So do you want to tell people about the process? Because it's kind of interesting. One of you is in the States and one of you is in London, is that right?
Who's answering?
I can answer. Yes, usually we are transatlantic. Usually I'm in New York and usually Danielle is in England. It just happens that I actually am in England for a week now. I can't see Danielle obviously because I have to self-isolate since I'm a traveler. But yeah, so in Why and I Go Outside, it's actually the third in a series that we've done. It's really about our relationship across the waters, and it's about our mutual desire to go outside, but how we felt that we needed to keep that comfort and warmth of staying inside. I don't know, Danielle, do you want to say more about the concept?
Yeah, I mean, basically what we did was we filmed things that we thought were sort of interesting. That kind of Zoom choreography is actually quite difficult to do, so we spent quite a bit of time on the things that we did.
Like
and
the
then
hoovering.
basically, pardon?
Like the hoovering, it was so
Like,
difficult to
it's
hoover at
actually-
the same time in the same way.
Yeah, it's that quite difficult to do. And we did things like walking through our flats together, the bit where we're going down the corridor, and we discovered inadvertently that we both had exactly 23 steps to get from where we were to the bed, which was a fantastic coincidence because all the timing worked out accidentally really well. And
Nice.
23 is cosmic. And also, so we just basically had all this footage, random footage really, and then the story just wrote itself, and it told, I think it told the story of lockdown ending, but kind of this fear of going outside, wanting to go out, but there's something kind of scary about it as well. I mean, neither of us really intended that story, but that's what came out of it.
I think it's a story that we can all relate to, or at least I can relate to it.
Me too, yeah.
I'm very cautious about going out, so
yeah.
I'm so desirous about going out, but yeah, it's very difficult.
Great.
Yes, thank you for showing our film.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for making it. It's a lovely piece. And I do like the short ones when they can get something across in such a really, really short time like that. So, okay, it's really nice. So I'm just looking to see if there's any more questions coming through on the chat. I can't see anything there. Anybody got a question?
Yeah, one question. I mean, is this concept kind of part of a wider practice that kind of involves certain themes or other ideas, or is it kind of in and of itself kind of very of the moment?
I'm not sure I quite heard the question actually.
Well, what I mean is it kind of is it part of a kind of wider practice, or is it very specifically this kind of to do with this kind of Zoom and digital kind of culture that's emerging?
It's part of a wider practice, but we have started doing it since we've been. Actually, no, we started doing it before lockdown, and we did we do any of it
before lockdown? We actually met and we made our film like a normal film. We changed our concept because of lockdown to be on Zoom. Yes.
Because we'd planned to do the next film, we planned to be in the same physical space, but we couldn't be, so we just carried on doing stuff on Zoom instead. And we've sort of been semi-commissioned to do a couple more by this Come Hell or High Water live art magazine thing. They want us to do a couple more, so there will be more coming. And they probably, well, we don't know if we'll be able to meet in physical space
right
at that point.
But we're getting a bit closer, but we still can't meet.
But we still live in like opposite sides of the Atlantic, so it's not all that likely.
Right.
But yeah, we do other stuff as well. We're doing some other projects too that aren't 1 minute black and white Zoom films.
We also recently made a pop video, which people probably won't see for a couple of months.
All right.
Yes.
I'll put our, we've just managed to achieve a joint website, so I'll put a link to it in the chat box.
I hope it's got a split screen.
That's a good idea.
Cool. Oh, you copied us. Love it.
Oh, that's perfect. The hat looks great like that, doesn't it?
I love it.
Okay, lovely work there, and looking forward to seeing some of the other work too. It sounds interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Next up is Memory Island by Diana Galincianova, who is from Russia, from Moscow, and she's in the room and she's giving us a wave right now. So Ben, if we can go over to Memory Island, please. By Diana Galincianova, who is from Russia, from Moscow, and she's in the Wonderful stuff there, Diana. If I could ask you to unmute yourself, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a village kind of that is lost in the center of Moscow. Is that right?
Now it's like completely destroyed village. Recently they destroyed it, and now they're gonna build apartment buildings for rich people there.
Okay, so it's the same old story everywhere in the world, right?
Yeah, it was one of the last remaining villages in the Moscow. Now there's only one left.
Okay, you still have one.
Yeah, we still have one, but it's not the same. That village is more for the rich people as well. And this one, this has just a unique vibe I wanted to capture in this video. It's like basically the village is one of the characters of these films.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're getting a sense of that.
Mm-hmm.
What was the process that you used with the performer there?
Basically, I brought my friend who was a performance artist to the village, and he started doing his thing, and we just followed him with no preparation at all. It was all improvised.
Okay.
At some point, we lost him somewhere in the village, and we was like searching for him, and then he was standing there on that hill and like doing his thing.
I kind of got the feeling that he's still there somewhere.
Maybe you're right. Maybe
like he was really part of the place. I don't know.
That's the whole point, I guess.
Okay, Joe is saying powerful stuff and fascinating location. And George is saying, I think the protagonist is an alien.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Wow, thanks. Yeah. I wanted to like show that alienation there. So it's nice that you feel that stuff.
I kind of like that moment when he starts to paint like a sigil, like a sign on himself, like he's trying to communicate with himself almost. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Very powerful visually, but it's what we've come to expect from you, Deanna, I have to say.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions in the room? Any questions from, do we have a question there from Andrew? Is it a question? I'm not sure.
We're on gallery view, so people can raise their hands or wave if they...
I can see a nice puppet, but I'm not sure if he's waving. Okay, so yeah, I really like the piece, and keep on sending your work to us, which I know you'll do anyway because you've been sending us work for very many years now.
I will for sure. I'm always happy to participate in your series. It's always nice stuff to do. Like, I'm happy to be a part of this Q&A as well. It's a really interesting experience.
Yeah, it's great to be able to speak to you and to see you. It really is. Okay.
I have just one question.
Go for it, Ben.
For Diana, how did she generate those weird sounds?
I have a music composer with whom I always work. She's from Romania. Her name is Iona. She does the whole like music thing. I just give her some kind of inspiration, and she does her job because she is an experimental composer.
It certainly adds to the spooky atmosphere, to the alien atmosphere.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Like, we wanted to capture this alienation with the music as well. So
very nice.
I'm glad to hear it work.
I love the shots too, where you can see the encroachment of Moscow, the buildings as they're starting to come in. You can see them in the distance. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. We've still got 4 films to go. And we still got a raffle to do, I guess. We're doing a raffle, Ben? I think I've lost Ben. Anyway,
what's going on?
I'm pretty sure that we'll do a raffle at some point.
We never discussed a raffle. We're going to have to pull a prize out of somewhere.
Well, given that no one's actually asked for a prize yet, but yeah, okay.
About a free ticket to the next online show.
Yeah, free ticket to the next online show would be complete with it. Would be complete within our power. Absolutely. Okay, so next up, it's an exploder. It's David. Okay, David Villiers. And the film is called A Gay Century, and it's a promo, actually. It's a promo piece.
have carved the space to be what I can be. We will carve the space to be what we can be. Out of ourselves, out of our lives, out of the
All right, David.
Hello.
Salut.
Salut. Are we doing the interview in French?
We're doing the whole thing in French, yeah.
Okay.
So, David, why don't you tell us about this?
I've been involved with Homo Promo for the last like 4 months or something like that. I catch up. At the time I meet them, it was like a weekly meeting where they were reading the play. So basically Peter was writing them, and basically once a week he will choose some actors to read them through. But and I find out later on that basically it was not just only a play, but each piece will be like become part of an opera or libretto, they call it or something. So basically I listened to maybe like 8 parts of them out of 17. And yeah, it started with like just me wanted to fool around with OBS really. And so I start picking up all the pictures they had, and I just put them up together. And it was a slow process because first I didn't know what I was doing really. And all of a sudden Peter decided to basically make it like a proper promotion piece. So something they could show in order to basically try to get some thing going on with it. So we did a clean version where basically all the artwork is not there. It's just like some slide going by. And basically I took these versions and I jazz it up. So I don't know, I like it. I spent quite a lot of time on it.
Yeah,
and I hope the best for it, really.
We should let people know that the software that you've used to make this is the very same software that we're using to broadcast this show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 different. There is 2 different options. There is the option of like designing your channel, kind of something like that, tools, and the actual streaming. So I'm mostly like using the artist side with basically all the chroma key, really. Mostly the chroma key is my big thing to the moment. Chroma key and color key. And so basically you can do quite a lot of things, but you cannot do as much as you do on After Effects. Obviously, there is a lot of things that you can do with After Effects that I'm still far away from being able to do that with OBS.
Yeah, well, OBS is free, isn't it? So
yeah, I guess so. And basically, I might find a way of doing it, but for the moment, yeah, I don't know. I just found out how to write in circles recently. It took me 6 hours to write 6 words.
Okay, so tell me though, the final piece, which is going to be very long, how is that going to be performed? Is it going to be performed on stage? Is it going to be?
No, it's meant to be an on-stage things, and the people who are basically meant to show. Okay, there is 2 things. There is one overall piece who will be performed with the 17-page, as a marathon, sometime next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about 2021, and basically what they are offering is basically they can the pieces are standing alone individually, and they are lasting for 1 hour. So in theory, you could do a programmation with 1 or 2 pieces, where basically people will go and sit down and watch them as it's meant to be an opera. It's meant to be singing things. So it's but for me, in my view, it's still like a community project. So it will still go on the community project circuit. There might be some ambition to go higher than that, but for the moment, if it's first, the big overall one will be done online, I guess, and after that, you might have a little tour with some individual pieces going either, because it's a big thing, from actually 100 years of the gay histories between the death of Oscar Wilde and the first gay marriage you just find some visuals from earlier on you told me that you find some visuals from Middle Age where basically depicting homosexuality. So basically it's not a new thing. It's definitely not a new thing.
No, of course.
And, there is still a few things to fight for, but I'm happy because basically I find things out, and basically I'm improving myself and my general knowledge about the gay life through doing this project. So
yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. Definitely. Thank you.
I saw a few years back, I saw a performance of a Michael Finnessy piece called History of Cinema, and he's a gay composer, and History of Cinema was it's like a 2-day long piece. It takes about 2 days to play the whole thing.
Okay.
And there was a lot of it's entirely music, but it's inspired by the images that he's seen. Okay, by gay images alongside straight images, yeah, it might be worth a look.
48 hours straight films, but you have to sit down for 48 hours.
I saw it in 2 or 3 sittings. I can't remember. Each sitting was about 6 hours long.
Okay.
It was quite long.
That's dedication.
It's quite something.
But anyway, I will let you know if something happened with this project.
Okay, do we have any questions in the room? I'm going to gallery view to see if I can see any hands waving. Okay. I can't, so thank you very much, David.
You're welcome.
Sophia mentions Go David, just to let you know, from YouTube.
Go David, okay.
Go David from YouTube, that's from Sophia.
Adrian T says, great piece, love the idea and would like to see more. It'll be interesting to see the way that this can of develop. And if it is a stage piece, when you go to the theatre these days, there's lots of film in theatre these days. Okay, they're using screens and projections all the time in theatre. So maybe you could get some work in there, David.
Oh yeah, if I'm working on another project, I'm working with another collective called Queen and Thespian, and I'm helping out with the video things. But anyway, yeah, I will let you know. You will find out soon enough, don't worry. They are redoing the Christmas story.
Good stuff.
And we are starting next week.
Okay, so moving on, we have got a film by Core of Moncos, and Core of Moncos is in the room. And the film is called The Bonnings.
Excuse me. This coffee isn't hot enough. See to it.
Yes, Mr. Tanner.
Forgotten the combination on this. See to it.
Right away, Mr. Tanner.
Brian.
Yes, Mr. Tanner.
I asked you for the Gorman designs yesterday, didn't I?
You did, Mr. Tanner.
See to it. Ted! We haven't turned a profit for the last 17 years. See to it! See to it. See to it. See to it. James, can you come in here, please? See to it. See to it.
Hi, Phil. What's going on?
Do these words sound weird to you? See to it. See to it. See to it.
See to it. See to it.
Yeah, the more I say it, the stranger it sounds.
Yeah, totally. See to it. 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 See to it.
Okay, James.
See to it.
That's enough.
See to it. Yeah, it doesn't even sound like words anymore. It's almost like one big word or just a sound. Sound. See to it. See to it. Sound. Sound. See to it.
Yeah, okay. That's enough, James.
You can do it with any words. 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 Words.
James.
Words.
James.
Words.
Please,
words,
stop saying stuff.
Words. Words.
James, this is getting weird.
Words. Words.
Please, just stop.
Yeah, just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Stop.
No, James.
Stop.
I'm not feeling very well.
Stop. Stop.
Please,
stop.
Please, can you just stop?
Oh God, I'm not okay.
Whoa. Phil, are you seeing this?
Who are they? They look fun. They're coming towards us.
Hello, we're the Bonnies.
Congratulations and jubilations. You've broken the myth of your reality. Your language has been keeping you locked into an illusion. Don't worry, you're safe now. Come play with us.
Come on, Phil. God, this feels so right. You should try it.
Arms aren't real. Arms aren't important.
Phil, look, they've taken my arms off.
Arms aren't real. Arms aren't important.
I'm disintegrating. I think we're melting. Phil, are we dying? This is cool, man.
Is it time I got you?
Do you think we'll have many more visitors? Oh yes. I can already sense them. Will they be here soon? Yes, very soon.
Okay, John, I'm not getting any sense from this book. Dr. Solms, 1953, says that no amount of hallucinogenic film can be used in therapy.
None. We beg to differ.
I think you did. Great stuff. Very funny.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Very funny. I love the whole transition. Love the basic idea that it's kind of language which is holding it all together.
Yeah, we have to be careful not to repeat any words too often, I think, in the interview in case something similar happens.
I am loath to say the dreaded S-P. Otherwise something may just take place. Yeah. So, okay, clearly, I've got a few questions really.
Oh, so do we.
The first thing is, what's that music about Trump's hairstyle, or that's in the credits there?
Right. Well, the music is by my cousin.
Okay.
Who is in a band called The Comet Is Coming. But yeah, there were just little pieces that he did under his own name, Danalog. And you can find them on YouTube. We can put the links to his channels in the chat afterwards.
It's really nice music, gotta say.
It's great.
Yeah, and I like the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And obviously, okay, you're in it. Both of you are in it.
Yeah.
And who's the writer?
So we're actually a group of 3. So we're just 2 of us representing this evening. So we all co-write.
Okay, you are the core of Moncos, as it were. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been making films since we were kids, and this is kind of, I guess, a couple of years ago, the culmination of everything we've learned through copious amounts of experimentation, film and otherwise.
Yeah, no, I like the feel that you get. It's kind of like if you gave LSD to Ricky Gervais in the office.
Yeah.
And this could occur.
I would love to see that. That would be.
Yeah, no, I would pay money for that. I really would. Yeah, very nice. And a very good performance by you there, John. I have to say, I like your freaking out. The freaking out was particularly nice.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's from experience. He's had a lot of practice freaking out, so he used it.
Yeah, well, it was coming through. It really was. Do we have any questions? Any observations?
We have something from George Gower said, that was utterly amazing. I had absolutely no idea what was going on, but it was mind-blowing.
Great.
And,
thank you, George.
And Yolanda Brenner says, great writing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well,
yeah.
Well, just to add to that, there is a comment from Danielle Imira, who says, love it, love to see it.
Cool, thank you. That's really good to hear.
Let's do more. I don't know whether that means more drugs or... Like...
Don't worry, we'll do both, so you don't have to specify. But we do have much more films. If you'd like to see them, we can put links to our YouTube channels as well.
Yeah, do that. And it'd be good for you to send us some more too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've screened at Exploding Cinema once before, when it was obviously before lockdown outside of the.
Remember you guys before? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, definitely we'll send stuff through.
Good
and
stuff.
Yolanda is asking if you could add the link to the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, yeah. We'll put links to John's cousin's music YouTube channels, and we're working on another project called Lack of Hinge, and we can put links to all of those. Please like and subscribe.
See to it.
See to it.
Lovely. Okay. I kind of wanted him to say that at the end.
Yeah. Damn it. You can help us write the next one. We always miss the punchlines.
I'm there. I'll be with you. I'd love to make films with you guys. It would be a lot of fun, I reckon. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed watching that film again. And I've watched it about 3 times already. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. So next up is a film by Andrew Matthews, and it's actually a film that was submitted to Exploding Cinema back in the 90s, but it's had a revamp. And Andrew wasn't going to be able to be with us, though he is actually with us. And he's made us a little intro and outro, so those have been added to the film. But it would be good to ask him some questions too, because he's got some headgear which is better than mine. So without further ado, this is Balaam, A Brief History.
Many people over the years have asked me, so, where is Balaam? A sense of place, what the French call a son de lieu. But what do we mean by place? Is a place things, buildings, telegraph poles, fire hydrants? If so, what happens when they're blown up? Does the place disappear? Have we left? Or is it a kind of consciousness? Of people, tortoises, biscuits, If this is the case, what happens when they walk away? Hibernate? Get eaten? Perhaps, says the filmmaker, a place is a memory that can be captured. Look, we say, I was there. Was there? Is it gone? Must it be in the past? Am I always late? Can I get back?
Many people over the years have asked me, Andrew, where is Balam? I say to you that my Balam, if it has not gone forever, is here.
Amiable balance of culture and commerce, of hubbub and tranquility, Balam is a community that blossomed over 150 years ago, but whose roots extend much further. The oldest evidence of mankind in this fertile, stream-watered area was the massive Saxon burial mounds, which the Victorians flattened in order to build a housing estate. The Romans laid down Balam High Road as part of Stane Street, which connected Londinium with their military base at Chichester. By the time of the Domesday Book in 1086, Balam had become a neglected manorial estate, valued at just 20 shillings, held without the king's gift and without warrant. One corner had been mortgaged by the hard-up Earl of Huntingdon, who was later executed for being too popular. King William had given the southern area of Balam to the monks of Bec Abbey, Normandy, plus the larger settlement of Tooting, hence the name Tooting Bec. Balam's name comes from the Saxon name Belgum, meaning settlement by a rounded hill. By the 15th century, feudal conditions had improved such that most villages could grow vegetables and keep livestock. By the mid-17th century, large areas of woodland had been turned into pasture and arable land, greatly enlarging farms such as Hyde Farm, owned by Emmanuel College, Cambridge, a legacy that remains in local road names on this site. Balam House used to exist on the site of the current library. Its occupants included Sheriff of London Peter Daniel, gunpowder maker William Walton, and George Wolfe, Consular General to Denmark and friend of Methodist preacher John Wesley, who wrote of his visits to the lively family at Balam. Bedford Hill, owned by the local landowning duke, was once a private lane leading up to the priory, built in 1812, and Bedford Hill House. Balam's prestigious residents had grown in number since the continued development along Balam Hill from Clapham Common in the late 18th century. Sir Henry Cavendish, Duke of Devonshire, for example, an eccentric millionaire chemist who proved that air was a compound and not an element. He was far from in his element, however, in the company of strangers and women, contact with whom he would flee. Of a series of grand villas erected along Balam High Road, Swan House and Hamilton House, now occupied by the Polish White Eagle Club, remain. Broadwaters, built in 1765 and once occupied by the Macmillan publishing family, became St Anselm's Convent School, named after a canonised monk of the Beck Abbey. Adjacent to it is the unusual Roman Catholic church, built in 1932 in the style of a Spanish mission. The Victorian era brought radical change and further development. The workhouse was demolished and Balham Park Avenue was praised in suburban homes of London as being as pleasant a place for a promenade as we know. The population grew from 300 at the start of the 19th century to 1,300 30 years later. The first post office was established in 1855, followed next year by Balham Railway Station, on the line to the Crystal Palace, which had been built for the Great Exhibition and re-erected at Sydenham. This railway led to the construction of many housing estates by the late 1870s. An athletics ground, a tram depot, a police station, a roller skating rink, and several more churches had been built. The population reached 38,000 by the start of the 20th century, one or two having been murdered along the way. In 1876, the whole of London was wondering if Mrs. Bravo, resident of the Priory on Bedford Hill, had murdered her husband, spurred on by her affair with local Dr. Gully. The trial was held at the Bedford Hotel. Local ladies dared not walk unescorted for some time along the hill, which incidentally became a red light district in the 1970s and 80s. Then in 1901, Alfred Heaver, builder of Balham's largest estate, was shot by a jealous brother-in-law as he left St Leonard's Church on the eastern edge of Tooting Graveney Common. This meant he missed the Prince of Wales, future King George V, ride through Balham 2 years later on its first electrified tram line, passing numerous music halls and theatres on the way, the greatest star of which was Balham local Dan Leno. Balham is notable for its links with British comedy, from Leno to many residents of Duquesne Court, which was built in 1934, the largest private residential block in Europe. Residents included comic actors and comedians, Dame Margaret Rutherford, who was born in Balham, Tommy Trinder, Gracie Fields, and currently Arthur Smith. The Bedford pub, where the Bravo case was held, was for 25 years host to the Banana Cabaret. Duquesne Court was coveted by Adolf Hitler, who foresaw a conversion into a swastika-shaped Nazi UK headquarters and ordered the Luftwaffe to steer clear. The rest of Balham was less fortunate. On the 14th of October 1940, a V-1 bomb hit Balham High Road and Underground Station, where hundreds of people were taking shelter. Rescue attempts were hampered by burst gas and water mains, and 64 people were killed. The post-war years were a period of further growth and an influx of people from all over the world, and Balham's culture became all the richer for it. The High Road abounded with unique local shops, and the outdoor and indoor markets filled up with fresh fruit, vegetables, meats, fish and snails from Africa and the Caribbean. However, Balham's desirable location, bordered by 4 lovely commons and served by rail, underground and buses, has, along with rising property prices, increasingly driven out its poorer population in favour of richer folk who have spread from Bethesda and Clam. Private businesses have been replaced by shiny chain supermarkets, homes with buy-to-let property investment opportunities. But I lived there from 1989 to 1995, and I liked it. So back in the mid-90s, I was fortunate enough to show this film at a thing called the Exploding Cinema. It was my first Super 8 film. The camera I'd got from a guy in Balham, the splicer and glue from a charity shop in Balham, and the film stock from Boots in Balham. So basically it was homegrown. And I was lazy. The footage was shot in Balham. The furthest I got was vertically when Balham had a show on Tooting Bec Common, including, to my immense excitement, helicopter rides. There was my killer opening shot. So, the Exploding Cinema. There I am in some dark pub in southeast London, projector clattering with my glued together beat up reel, while I play my original music on a cassette player and read the voiceover live by torchlight. Any film skips and glitches I nervously ad-libbed over, and I think the live feel was appreciated. It is nearly impossible to respect and not tinker with your own past creative endeavours, so Sweet Home Alabama went, and I used some instrumental versions of songs I'd recorded for a German children's publisher that had ceased trading the week before the release date. The professional telecineas did their best, but the footage is jumpy as the sprocket holes were torn to shreds by my charity shop projector, but at least now this thing exists outside of a sun-blessed tray in Mum's attic, and people can see it. One day I hope to make an edit of my magnum opus, The Man with No Shoelaces, so it too can be shown at the Exploding Cinema, and I can go to Hollywood and go to the off-licenses on Sunset and Vine. Thank you.
Andrew, so what was it like? What's it like to be back with Exploding?
It's a curious feeling because I noticed the technology has changed quite a lot, and as I said, I remembered being there in a studio in a room with mechanical things and things that went wrong a lot more.
Yeah. Okay, those were the days, and it doesn't get any different in truth. When you come to one of our shows again, I think you'll see that.
I hope so.
I've got to say that I really like the intro and outro. You were channeling the spirit of Godard because you made those in Paris, right?
Yes, yeah, visiting the missus for the first time in a while.
Balham à la Paris.
Yeah, there's got to be some connection somewhere, but it's a bit parity in here, sorry.
You seem somewhat distracted.
Yeah, it's my imagination. I've made it real.
It's like, how can someone be so distracted when they're actually so kind of rooted in their place?
I moved. That's the secret.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, keep moving, man.
Keep moving. Yeah.
Where did you move to?
Around. Good question. Probably a simpler answer would be, where did you stay still? But I don't have an answer to that. I went to Tenerife for a long time.
Nice.
Right.
I've got a question about the Super 8.
Uh-huh.
Was that old Kodachrome?
Yeah, it's mostly, nearly all Kodachrome 40. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no. I just wondered how you made it 16 by 9. Like, did you crop some, or did you use an anamorphic lens or something?
Because you can't see any distortion on that, can you?
No.
So this is from memory. I must have cropped top and bottom. I'm remembering also that I don't know if anyone else ever used it. There was one of the reels was, I think I bought the last Boots Super 8 film in the shop, which was basically Kodachrome 40, but it had its own kind of Fuji-esque characteristics. I wish I'd got more now, because it's all different.
I've got some old Boots you can have.
Oh,
stock.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't have the camera anymore, but it's nice to know this stuff is still around.
Definitely is.
Do you keep it in the fridge?
Yeah, but at this point, that's like closing the stable door after the horse has bolted. I mean, By the time I got the film, I don't know what conditions it had been in.
No, that's part of the fun, huh?
But I was able to process it myself. Firstly, in black and white, and then I think in color, because I don't know. I think it came out in E6 chemistry. I'm getting very technical here.
I seem to remember E6 was, yeah, the standard. It's just, like I say, it was like Kodachrome 40.
Cool.
There's a bit of in the early shot, I think I said for the early settlers, I've used some porn footage that a neighbor gave me that had been in his attic for a while and was covered in cat urine, and that had its own it was, well, it had an unusual effect upon the film. It was obviously quite acidic, and yeah, I wish I still had it, because there was stuff going on there that was exciting for other reasons than the filmmaker's intention.
Ooh.
Lots of psychedelic, lots of fractals and things that possibly the cat intended.
Maybe vinegar syndrome, maybe.
Well, you know, we all suffer from time to time. Yogurt is the answer.
Lemon juice.
It's a new take, I guess, on the money shot.
Yeah, there's no money here, mate.
Okay, so we've got some questions coming through. Adrian T says, lovely, and loves the killer shot.
Yeah, man.
And he's asking, okay, where's the dialogue, the original wording?
That's a good question. Most of it was, as you saw, I shot it in 1993, when I lived there at the time, and then didn't telecine it until, I didn't actually make the digital version until 2015, was it? By which time I'd gone back to Balham a couple of times, and I was kind of, it's something that's happened generally in London, but it was the, you know, it wasn't as culturally rich as it was when I shot on it. And there was much less there than I was celebrating at the time. So I tried to provide, because it's, you know, it's a light film. So I tried to provide a kind of muted version of, yeah, that's not there anymore, without being too much of a downer. Because, you know, if you make a film in a certain time, your main objective is to celebrate that time that you've captured.
Yeah, it's a record.
Yeah, exactly. I had sort of several people saying, you've got to telecine this because you don't know how special that footage is. And it's been on YouTube for a few years, and a lot of the feedback, as you can imagine, is people saying, I used to live there, or I had a shop there, or I used to go in there. You know, and there's that quality of Super 8. It's a nice memory trigger, and it was still at the time, I don't know, I was pretty retro then going for Super 8, but it was to do with the fact that I could afford this stuff, you know? I could get a camera out of a secondhand magazine, and then I could just go out and shoot straight away.
Okay, do we have any other questions? Anyone else want to geek out about?
There's a few comments. I mean, you know, just generally kind of enjoying the film. I would say, I mean, yeah, what I really liked about it is kind of how the particular place becomes a kind of very general place, right? It could be anywhere, rather than it happens to be Balham, which it does, right? I mean, I just wondered if you had any kind of comment on that. This kind of the fact that, you know, there's a kind of a universal kind of experience there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a film about a place so much as my feeling about that place at the time. And in that sense, it could apply to anyway. But it's also the first place I lived in London, so it's a lot of my excitement about being in such a rich and exciting, and for me, a very cosmopolitan place, and kind of things that I didn't know. And I think, like a lot of films about places can often be very rich and exciting because they're shot by people who don't know the place.
Yeah.
And therefore, your experience of the place, in a sense, is the same time as you're pressing the trigger on the camera. You know, I don't know this, and the camera's getting it at the same time as I do. You don't have to agree with everything.
I have a question. About the Exploding Cinema show that you showed at all that time ago. Where was it, and what were your impressions of the how we were back then?
Oh, blimey. Well, I'm trying to remember. It weren't that far from the cool town. Was it sort of between Brixton? Was it Brixton, Elephant Way? Somewhere between? I've drunk a lot since then.
It moved around a lot.
It was exciting. I mean, it was other people who were who were doing weird things like that. And of course, there were like cabaret artists. Like I saw Ian Hinchliffe for the first time at an Exploding Cinema. Stuart Home, I think, did a reading at the same time I showed the second film. And so it was, it wasn't just the presentation of images and sound like this. As you can imagine, it was very much about being in a room with lots of weird people who were doing stuff you didn't have to understand, but were exciting and very much to do with London then.
Great stuff. We love a bit of nostalgia.
Of course you do. You did it.
Okay, well, I didn't. I wasn't there back then, but
we're doing it again in November, hopefully, live.
Very well.
Yeah.
Hope to be there.
We can't wait to do another live show. We're really kind of chomping at the bit here. It's been
chomping
fun.
At the bit? Oh, chomping. Thought you said trumping.
That too, maybe. Okay, so I think we should probably be moving on and get on with the raffle.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do the raffle.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyone that's seen these shows before, you know that we have one of these little devices that is going to come up with a number as soon as I press this button there. And if you can put a number between 1 and 100 into the chat here or onto the YouTube chat, we'll see if we can find a winner and actually send out a prize for once. So we've got to come up with a prize. But hey, that can be part of the fun. Don't know what you're going to get. All right, numbers coming in. You can talk amongst yourself while that's happening.
We could talk about the next show.
Next show, we don't have one actually planned, so there is a possibility that we'll get involved with another free festival in Nunhead in September. But that was, mooted just a day or so ago, so we haven't really got our heads around that one yet.
Also, just very quickly, I think Adrian T's question might have got missed for the last film, which was appreciated the Super 8 footage and the shots, but was the dialogue the original wording? Before that gets lost in the chat.
Did ask it. It got asked.
You did ask it. Yep. Okay.
So yeah, maybe we'll be doing a show in September.
We'll know in about 10 days whether the outdoor street party show is going to go ahead.
Yeah, that's another possibility. We're desperate to do an actual show, but it's very tough out there at the moment to get anybody to accept. But we have a possibility of doing an outside show in a street in North London, because there's an event, and maybe we could be part of that event. And because it's in a street, I guess nobody needs to be very close to each other, so the social distancing, would be easier to do, and that's another possibility. We do have a physical show that's on the books in November at the Cinema Museum, but who knows whether that would happen, because we still don't know whether they'll be open yet. But those are the plans. And if the physical shows don't take place, I guess we'll be doing the online one still. Another thing that I could say is that we're not making any money at the moment. We're just losing money, to Zoom. So if anybody wants to give us any money, you can do so on the website, and that would be very nice, and would I guess be useful okay for us to put on new shows on Zoom. We are a non-profit organization. None of us gets paid. We all do this for the love of it. Any money we do get just goes straight back into shows. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it always will be. Okay, should we do the raffle? Ben, should we do it? Okay, I'm going to do the raffle.
Yes. Let's do the raffle.
I'm
not sure exactly what the prize we're all going for is here.
We can decide later. All right, so the number is 71. Don't know what that would be in a bingo call.
Well, Pete Gomez got 67. Let's see if anyone got closer.
Anyone on YouTube? Oh, that is on YouTube. I think 67 does it. Pete has won.
Yeah.
Pete Gomez, you are a star. You have won something. We don't know what it is, but it's going to be the finest that the pound shop can supply.
What does Pete have to do? Just send us an address.
Yeah, we know where Pete is, don't we? We've got an email for Pete, surely. Well done, Pete. Round of applause, everyone. Yay, well done. Okay, just me then. Okay.
Sorry, Adam, I'm going to put up in the Zoom chat the link to the donation button.
Oh, yeah, nice. Okay, good stuff. Okay, shall I introduce the final film of the evening? Are we good to do that, Ben?
Yep. Okay, I was just about to do this this donation button.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Is it coming up?
Where's the chat gone?
I'm guessing. That we won't
All
see
right.
anything, will we?
That's there in the Zoom chat now. The link to the just click on the yellow donate button. Even just £1 would help.
Absolutely. Okay. So it comes to the last film, which is by Adrian Tong, who I think is in the room. I think
apparently Sophia won. Sophia won the raffle, not Peter.
It's who?
Sophia. I was Sophia.
He's right. I think we missed a number on the. We got a closer number than Pete Gomez.
Well, then I think we should send a prize to both then, because we've picked up Pete now. We can't let him down.
This Angel Dayden said 69 from SK. That's true. Yes. We. Although aren't exploders and ex-exploders banned from winning or from competing? Would that be too mean of us?
Oh, but Peter is a big contributor as well, so basically they're all in the same case.
It's all an inside job, isn't it?
Sounds like it to me.
That's very unexploding to. I could just be. I guess looking out for the mates.
It is true though that Sophia did get closer.
Then I think she should get something.
All right.
Okay, that's my vote.
Yep, one surprise in a jiffy bag going to.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So Adrian Tong's film. It's going to close the show, and it's called Bison. All right, well done, Adrian. Okay,
Hey.
welcome back to Exploding.
Hello. Good to be back.
Yeah, so I like a bit of abstraction myself. I really like this piece. I like the contrasting colors, especially. I like the greens and reds. All this was done on your phone, is that right?
Yeah. So what I wanted to do was on the app, KineMaster app, I just didn't want to import anything at all. And I just wanted to use all in-app applications that are within the app that you could use to create something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to import any video or anything like that, so I just used all the transitions and stuff like that. And then I sort of was looking for my old record collection, and I found the track, which was from a label called Lava label. This label was called Lava, and it's from the 90s, and it's a friend, Gav Jones, and his friend Andy Weir that produced the track.
Hmm.
Played Gav, and I think it was about 1995 when it was made. And I replayed it, and I just loved the way it sort of just morphed into one thing to the other, and it sort of lent itself to the sort of project I wanted to do. So it sort of started from there, really.
Okay, what's the name of the app again?
KineMaster.
KineMaster.
Yeah, it's on an Android phone, so.
Okay, Danielle and Yolande were both asking, and I was intrigued as well. It seems like quite a powerful app.
It's really good. I know that I wanted to do that just so I could find out what it actually did in terms of what you could do on it. Because then there was about 200 plus either little drawings within the app or transitions or little wobbles on the image or transitions so they glided across, but I think it was about 230, something like that altogether.
Okay, that's actually quite a small number for the length of film, because it's like 6 minutes long, and you're getting that much film out of just 230 images. That's very good for animation.
Yeah, no, I think it worked well. Nothing's repeated. I try not to repeat anything in it as well. I didn't want it to be a repetition just because the music had things that repeated in a way. But I wanted it to move with the music as it went along, because the music sort of drifts into a little bit of a sinister bit in the middle where it goes a bit darker.
Yeah, go blurry at that point too, don't you?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, nice stuff. Okay, George Gower is saying, I thought it was really effective and really well put together. Yolanda says the soundtrack and visuals meshed perfectly. Love it! Exclamation mark. The question I have then is what you're working on at the moment.
Well, I've just finished something when I was sort of in lockdown. I sort of went to sleep in my mum's garage, and I worked out a little story that I think I've seen it already. I've just finished that now, and it's just based on a mother and son's relationship when one of you is sleeping in the garage, really.
Okay, so, interesting.
And it's actually, I wanted to do it for that one. I wanted to do something that had a definite, like a dialogue and a plot, whereas, because a lot of mine have been animations that had sort of vague plots, but they've always been slightly abstract. But that had a beginning, middle, and end, so I just wanted to explore that as well.
Nice stuff. I did a mother film one time, and it was a really, really good experience.
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, I think so.
Bonding with my mother, it was just amazing. I recommend it to all.
I think all mothers should be actresses. My mum was just so good at it, so yeah, no, it worked really well.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing that. I do. So if we don't have any other questions, then I'm guessing that's drawing us towards the end of the show. So thank you very much, Adrian.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Looking forward to seeing the next piece. Very much so. It falls on me now to thank you all for sending us in the work, and thank you for being here in the Zoom room with us. It's really lovely to chat with you all and to get the insights.
Should we unmute everyone?
Yeah, why not?
And I'm guessing.
Hello,
Adam. Drawing us towards the end of the show. So thank you very much, Adrian.
Let's have a round of applause for your host, Adam Hodgkins, tonight.
Very much so.
Thank you very much.
Was on me now
It was a
to
lot of fun.
thank you all.
And you made it all very interesting.
Being here in the Zoom room with us. It's really
Someone's got
lovely
their YouTube playing at the same time.
to get the insights.
Should we unmute everyone?
Yeah, why not?
Matt is there. I can hear.
A round of applause for your host, Adam Hodgkins, tonight.
Very much so. Thank you very much.
We got whoever's got their YouTube on, they have to mute it. We're getting serious lags and echoes.
Time dilation. We just travelled in time.
We're going to mornings again.
Why not?
And Matt is giving us a live feed there from his garden. That's
nice.
There's Adrian there. There's
It's
Adrian.
me. There is a very long delay going on here.
Okay, we can hear Matt too. Nice to hear your voice.
Muted now. Marmalade. I like marmalade.
It's all gone very weird.
Yeah, well, you know, what you expect.
He's giving us a live feed there from his garden.
I am.
So,
I'm trying to get people to come and talk to the camera.
How many people do you
By
have
the way,
on
just
the
one
show,
quick
Matt?
question here,
What's that?
which is the app. Danielle Imara wanted to know the app involved on the last film, which was considered effective.
It's called KineMaster.
Yeah, it was covered. Yeah, just double checking.
No worries. Good to see you got it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get people to come and talk to the camera.
Okay, Matt is on loop. It's like
We're all descending into madness.
I like the upside down here. I'm gonna. Yeah, that's nice. Whoa. My hat never looked as good as that during the show.
Oh, it's a KineMaster.
Yeah, it was covered. Yeah.
I have to say, it was very nice to get that out again. I've worn this for a little while.
Adam, maybe we should mute everyone, and then everyone mutes their YouTube.
No, just keep going.
Just,
See who can last the longest.
Yeah, Moncus.
It's an experimental film.
And there's a couple of other questions here I wanted to bring to everyone's attention.
Yeah, go for it, Joe.
So we've got the last film.
Yeah.
How many hours were spent on it?
Adrian.
Mute everyone, and then everyone mutes their YouTube.
Okay, Adrian, you need to unmute, Adrian.
Have I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we got you.
I don't know, to be honest, because I just did it on the bus, at work, in the bath. It took a while, but I probably did it in.
How many hours were spent on it?
Over about 2 or 3 weeks, I sort of did it, but I was just only doing it in between stuff, really.
Well, actually, that's for me. That's more interesting, actually, that you were doing it kind of as you went, you know, rather than setting everything else aside. You're actually kind of doing it on the move somehow.
Yeah. Any spare moment, then I'd sort of have, and then I'd just sort of pull up the app on the bus, and I'd have 10 minutes on the bus, and then keep moving on. And I think it's better actually because my eyes would go sort of blurry when I'm staring at the phone for too long, so it sort of worked better that way, to be honest.
Yeah, with such a small screen, it's difficult to to work on it for a very long time. I did a phone animation once, and it was about I guess 1 or 2 minutes. I guess about 2 minutes long, and I did it on tube trips. So every time I was on the tube, I made a bit more, and that's the way I handled it.
Yeah, it's just nice, isn't it, doing that? Because you sort of come at the end and then you've got this piece that sort of just jigsaw puzzled together over time, sort of thing. And
yeah, no, absolutely. And I think your jigsaw was very well constructed.
No, thank you.
It looked really nice. Looked very fluid.
Sorry, can I ask? Can you write the name of the app in the chat just for the spelling?
I just did, I think. I'll do it again if you like.
Yeah, David.
Oh, yes. KineMaster.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Got it.
Just to keep busy in the bus.
I reckon a few of us are going to look at that one. It looks like a good app. Good spot there, Adrian.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay, so, well, folks, I reckon that's about it. Unless anyone's got any burning desire to share a story with us right now.
Is it worth saying at this? It's worth saying at this point that we're always open to new members, and anyone who wants to join us and make amazing shows like this, learn the ropes.
Yeah, we're looking for new members all the time. It takes a lot of work to get these shows together, and many hands make light work. So do consider becoming a member. And if you do become a member, it's not like you have to do every single show. If you're busy, you don't, at any time you can step back. We've got how many core members at the moment, guys? It's about 8 or 9. Is that right?
Yep.
And you can see there's about like 4 or 5 of us here now. So that's how much it took to get this show off the ground.
Anyway, send us your film too.
Huh?
Send us your film too.
Oh, send in films. Yeah, that's a given. Yeah, but actually, because we don't have any show planned, I'd like you all to stop making we're
the 21st of November. Aren't we? Isn't that still happening?
I'm only joking.
You know, I was about to say the opposite of that. Actually, I mean, one thing that filmmakers can do is hopefully really process this kind of, you know, this mad situation that we're in. So in fact, maybe make more films.
Don't stop making.
Stop making babies. Make films.
Yeah.
We'll make films about babies. That's fine too. We'll get babies to make films. That would be nice.
Yes.
I want to see that. I've got to say, I've always had a lot of success with abstract film and kind of very young children. They love it. They absolutely adore it. It's like it's pre-language. Okay, going back to the Bonnings, you know, you show them some abstract images, and they're completely absorbed because they've not learnt the words yet. It's great.
My dad used to play me avant-garde classical music in the 70s when I was a kid.
And look what it did.
Yeah, look what it did to me. But I used to lose my shit laughing at it. I loved it. It blew my little mind. That and the animations of Terry Gilliam.
Fantastic.
Made me the man I am today.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Good stuff. Yeah. It was Pink Floyd that was played to me as a youngster. Okay, guys.
Okay, guys.
Oh.
So I guess that's right. I thank you all. I look forward to seeing you and seeing your film sent in to us again. Looking forward to the next show, whenever that will be. See you later.
On a clear day, rise and look around you. Yeah, you weren't going to get away without a bit of the auto voice change.
Yeah, avant-garde music coming through again, isn't it?
Anyway.
Good stuff. All right.
All right.
See ya. Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Next time.
Thank you. Okay, so we're having an after show chat, guys, or what are we doing?
Probably.
We're gonna hit the hay, but it was really nice chatting to you, Adam, and thanks so much for putting the show on. And hopefully see you in November.
Yeah, good stuff. Look forward to it. Good stuff, and keep making work. It's really good.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks to everyone who tuned in on YouTube.